Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Today is August 4th, 2025. It's a long weekend in Saskatchewan, and I hope that you're having a wonderful morning, a wonderful day. When you start your day telling yourself that it's going to be a great day, you look for ways. The reticulating the reticular activating system in your brain actually looks for evidence to support that it's going to be a great day. You can cause it to be a great day. You can create affirmations. You can create ideas that you start to realize it has been a great day. It really is. It's a wonderful life. No matter what you face today, it can be easier than if you tell yourself, I'm tired, I'm miserable, I don't want to be here anymore. Whatever kind of stories you tell yourself, if you tell yourself stories of love, life, prosperity, abundance, joy, your subconscious mind starts to wake up and pay attention to that. It takes a little while if you've been telling yourself that you're tired and miserable for days, weeks, years. You actually have to reprogram your brain, your mind, to look for evidence. It's not so bad. Life is pretty good. There have been times where things have worked out. There have been times that I had fun. There have been times where I've overcome challenges. There have been times where life really was wonderful, and you can get into that feeling. You can talk yourself into feeling better. You can talk yourself into feeling wonderful or terrible, and it becomes a habit. Look around at the people you know. Are they habitually miserable? Do you see people who seem to have it all? They're happy, they're healthy, they're wealthy, they're enjoying life. If you're feeling a bit miserable or depressed or jealous, instead of concentrating on those feelings, decide that you're going to go after something better. Decide that you're going to start to feel better. Feeling good is so much more fun, so much easier than allowing yourself to stay stuck, to feel bad, and to continue to generate feelings of unworthiness or unhappiness or just general low level vibrations. One of the most important things that you can do is start your day in a grateful way. Just saying thank you. Whether you believe in God and say thank you, God, or just say thank you, universe. Just look around at the things that you have, the things that you have done, the things you have accomplished. Instead of beating yourself up, look at some of the things that you overcame. You learned how to walk, you learned how to read, you learned how to speak, and then you learned how to behave in this world. You were taught all those things. You can learn how to reprogram your mind for happiness. You can learn to be looking forward to something, and rather than remaining stuck, you can search for ways that you feel happier, you feel more at ease. But it takes practice. It takes reprogramming your mind so that you're looking for ways that support your feeling happy and healthy and prosperous. And that starts by getting into changing your mood, changing the way you automatically talk to yourself, changing the way you automatically get triggered. And one of the easiest ways to turn that ship around, to start to look for ways that life is good. There are things that are great. There are things that you can be thankful for. There are things that you can be happy about. And it might have just become a habit that you're looking for what can go wrong because you've been trained that way. Generations of ancestors, generations of people who love you have taught you perhaps to look for threats in the environment. That's automatic. They've taught you have to work hard for a living. So you automatically do that. Of course, you want to have a good life and fit in. So you've been trained to work hard. You've been trained to think in certain patterns. Well, if you've been trained to work hard and you don't feel happy about that, you don't feel good, you don't feel joyful, what is it that you're working hard to accomplish? If you're just working hard, you're not having any fun. If you're working hard to support loved ones, you want to do it for the right reasons because you love them and you want the best for them, not because you have to or you feel like you'll be punished. It takes time to entrain yourself to believe that life is wonderful, life is healthy, life is happy. And if you keep looking at all the reasons to support that life is tired and miserable and poor and unhealthy, your brain goes looking in that direction. I picked up the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, and right in the first chapter, he tells us everyone has the right to be rich. And he's not talking about being filthy rich in finances. He's talking about being richly blessed in every area of your life. Rich relationships. Isn't that what everyone wants? To feel loved, to feel a part of something better, to feel part of something wonderful. Mostly people work hard because they want to shower their loved ones with gifts. They want to have an easier life. They want to be more comfortable. And Wallace Wattles says, whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. We cannot rise to our greatest possible height in talent or soul development unless we have plenty of money. In order to unfold the soul and to develop talent, we must have many things to use. And we cannot have these things unless we have money to buy them with. People develop in mind, soul, and body by making use of things. And our society is so organized that people must have money in order to become the possessor of things. Therefore, the basis of all human advancement must be the science of getting rich. The object of all life is development. If you look around you in nature, everything is looking for expansion and fuller expression. Wallace Waddell says the object of all life is development. Everything that lives has an inalienable right to all development it is capable of attaining. Each of us has the right to life. This means the right to have the free and unrestricted use of all the things that may be necessary to our fullest mental, spiritual, and physical unfolding. In other words, our right to be rich. So Wallace Wattles doesn't speak of riches in a figurative way. He says to be really rich does not mean to be satisfied or content with a little. You ought not to be satisfied with a little if you are capable of using and enjoying more. The purpose of nature is the advancement and development of life. Every individual should have all that can contribute to the power, elegance, beauty, and richness of life. Think about how much better you feel when you are contributing, when you add value, when you leave other people feeling better about themselves, when you participate and make something better. Doesn't it feel good when you've discovered a way of doing something that helps another person, where you add more value, you add more life? Wallace Waddell says, when you own all you want for the living of all the life you are capable of living, you are rich. You can't have all you want without plenty. Life has advanced so far and become so complex that even the most ordinary man or woman requires a great amount of wealth in order to live in a manner that even approaches completeness. If you look around at the way society is, we exchange money for products and services, and products and services keep increasing, which means you must earn more because you end up paying more for products and services. And until that changes, you go backwards if you're not increasing the amount of money that you earn, because it has been costing more to pay for the things that you want. Wallace Waddell says, you naturally want to become all that you are capable of becoming. Everyone wants to feel valued and wanted and contribute more. If you are capable of a better life, a bigger contribution to society, you don't feel good if you're doing a job that you were told you had to do in order to pay the bills. You eventually grow out of that. And you look for ways of doing things better. You look for ways of feeling more accomplished. You naturally want to become all that you are capable of becoming. This desire to realize innate possibilities is inherent in human nature. Success in life is becoming what you want to be. And you can become what you want to be only by making use of things. And you can have the free use of things only as you become rich enough to buy them. Wallace Waddell says that an understanding of the laws of the universe and the science of getting rich is the most essential of all knowledge. There's nothing wrong in wanting to get rich. The desire for riches is really the desire for a richer, fuller, and more abundant life. He says that desire is praiseworthy, and it's not very common for a person to not want to live more abundantly. Most people want to live to their fullest potential. It costs money to go to university. It costs money to get the education to do what you want to do, to become what you want to become. You might not be satisfied doing a menial job when you really have the desire to be a professional. Until things change in our society where you don't require money to live, it is going to take more effort to become rich. But it's not just rich in finances. You want to be rich in experiences, and you want to have a rich spiritual life. You are a spiritual entity living in a physical body, and you have the gifts of intelligence, of free will. You have intellectual faculties, and you want to improve those gifts so that you can live the best life while you're here. Not look around and complain about what is, but look for ways to create a better life for yourself and those around you. Changing society so that everyone is healthy and happy and wealthy and living a joyful life. What use is it to go around being miserable and dragging everyone around you down? Wallace Waddell says there are three motives for which we live. We live for the body, the physical instrument. We live for the mind, and we live for the soul. No one of these is better or holier than the other. Each is desirable, and neither body, mind, nor soul can live fully if one of the others is cut short of full life and expression. He says it is not right or noble to live only for the soul and deny mind or body, and it is wrong to live for the intellect and deny body and soul. We are all acquainted with the loathsome consequences of living for the body and denying both mind and soul. We see that real life means the complete expression of all that a person can give forth through body, mind, and soul. We cannot be really happy or satisfied unless our bodies are living fully in every function, and unless the same is true of our mind and our soul. Wherever there is an unexpressed possibility or an unperformed function, there is an unsatisfied desire. Desire is possibility seeking expression or function seeking performance. Now, if you look at your life and think about what do you really, really want, rather than believing that you can't have it or giving all the reasons and excuses why it's not here, just start to spend a little bit of time getting into that feeling of why do you want what you really want? What would that do? What would that do for your mind? What would that do for your body? What would that do for the way you live? What would that do for the way you express your feelings? Wouldn't you be expressing more life, more fun, more joy, more happiness if you were living the way you really wanted? What's holding you back? What's keeping you stuck? Who told you you had to stay playing small and doing things that you don't really want to do when a fuller life is available to you? And when you live a fuller life, that exudes out of you and helps everyone around you feel like they can live a fuller life. Give yourself permission to go after what you really want and enjoy it. And then you can help more people enjoy their life. Wallace Wattles says a person cannot live fully in body without good food, comfortable clothing, warm shelter, and freedom from excessive toil. Rest and recreation are necessary to one's physical life. Machines break down if they are not maintained. Your physical body breaks down when you don't have rest and relaxation and some fun. You cannot serve from an empty cup. You have to fill yourself up so that you can serve your family and your loved ones and your society, your community in a joyful, loving, giving way, not from misery and being empty and resenting what you're doing for your family. It's not selfish, but it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you keep giving from empty, you're not going to feel good, and either are those around you. Wallace Wattles says a person cannot live fully in mind without books and time to study them, without opportunity for travel and observation, or without intellectual companionship. To live fully in mind, one must have intellectual recreations and must be surrounded by all the objects of art and beauty that one is capable of using and appreciating. To live fully in soul, an individual must have love, and the expression of love is often frustrated by poverty. Our highest happiness is found in the bestowal of benefits on those we love. Love finds its most natural and spontaneous expression in giving. When we have nothing to give, we cannot fill the place as a spouse or parent, as a citizen, or as a human being. It's in the use of material things that a person finds full life for one's body, develops the mind, and unfolds the soul. Therefore, it is of supreme importance to be rich. Wallace Wattles says it is perfectly right that you should desire to be rich. If you are a normal human being, you cannot help doing so. It is perfectly right that you should give your best attention to the science of getting rich, because it is the noblest and most necessary of all studies. If you neglect this study, you are derelict in your duty to yourself, to God, and to humanity. You can render God and humanity no greater service than to make the most of yourself. Making the most of yourself, becoming richly blessed, not only in finances, but in your relationships, in contributing to society, improving your mind, improving your intellect, improving your body, improving your actions. What is it that you really want? When you go after what you really, really, really want, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't even matter if you reach a goal that you set. What really matters is that as you're thinking, as you're feeling, as you're doing, as you're going after what you desire, you fill up your spirit, you fill up your mind, you fill yourself up, and then you serve your family, your loved ones, and society from the best version of you. That's not selfish. That is absolutely necessary. The best thing that you can do for the world is to become the best version of you. As you express from the best version of you, you can give more because you have more to give. You have more love, you have more life, you have more intellect, you have more joy to give. Take a moment to think about what that best version of you really would be doing. Get into that spirit of well-being. Fill yourself up with what does it look like, feel like? How would I be acting? What energy would I be giving out from that best version of me? If I am the best version of me, what does that look like? What does that feel like? How am I acting? Fill yourself up with well-being, with faith. Start to study to gain an understanding of gain a knowledge of the laws of the universe. What you give is what you receive. Give from your heart. Give from the fullness of the best version of you. And your life just keeps getting better and better and better. I like to start my day writing out what is my goal, what is my intention for the day. You might spend some time getting into the spirit of well-being and then writing out what is your purpose here on earth? How do you contribute to society? Start out by giving thanks, writing out what you're grateful for, getting yourself into the highest vibrational energy possible, and then go out and serve from your best self. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.